of the actual values. And you can put an R in front of any of these guys right here, and it is going to give you a reverse sort, just like that. Now let's get into strings, which are just a series of characters, and let's go in here and create a random string. And let's throw some empty space here in the front, and then type in random string, right like this, and put some white space down here. Now let's say you wanted to make sure you close off with the same quote that you started with. Now let's say you wanted to go and actually trim off the white space on a string. How would you do that? Well, another thing that's very useful is to be able to see the length of the string. So you just use strlen, or string length, and we're going to type in random string, and then we'll throw a break statement in there. Now if you want to trim off the left space, what we're going to do is with this guy, we're going to go ltrim. That's going to get all the white space off of the left side of our string. If you would want to do pretty much the same thing on the right side of the screen, you're going to type in rtrim. Not very common to use those guys though. And the number one way, I'm using string length here just to show you how the string changes based off of using these trim functions. And I'm going to use trim. That's going to get rid of all of the white space. And there you can see the original string length was 29. After we got rid of all the white space on the left, it was 19. After we got rid of the white space on the right, it became 23 because there was more white space on the left than on the right. And then after we called a full trim, which got rid of all of the white space on the left and the right, we have a total string length of 13. Now, I have been using echo for everything so far, but there's another way to print information on the screen, and that is called printf. And you're going to use printf because it's going to allow you to format strings on your screen, just like echo does. So let's go in here and show you the difference in what echo would look like versus printf. You're going to be able to use all kinds of conversion codes to convert your data as well. So with echo, I'm going to go the random string. Now if I would put a $sign inside of here, because this is double quotes, this would actually show up here instead of random string. Reason I didn't do that is random string. Throw a break statement at the end there. And this is the printf version of it. Now with printf, you're going to put the bracket inside of there, and then you're going to say the random string is, and you're going to put a %sign and s because we're dealing with strings. And then you're going to put your bracket inside of here. And then at the end of it, you're going to define what you want to show up where that %sign and that s is, which is random string. Close that off. And they look identical. There you can see right there. Well, if I would have spelled random string right, there you go. Identical on our screen. One thing that is very useful though with printf is going to allow us to use conversion codes for decimals, for example. So let's go decimal number is equal to 2.3456, whatever. Now we can go in here with printf. You can do all kinds of other things with printf, but I'm going to keep this somewhat basic. So let's go decimal number is equal to, and then let's say I only wanted 2 decimal places to show up inside of here. I could just go 0.2 and f for floating point number, or number that has a decimal place inside of it. Close that off, and then decimal number, and it's going to just show me 2 decimal places, like you can see right there. Now there are other conversion codes. If you want to convert an integer, so if decimal number was actually an integer into binary code, you would put a B inside of there instead of an F or an S like you saw before. Integer to characters, you just put in a C, it's going to automatically do it for you. Integer to decimal, double to float, integer to octal number, string to string, or integer to hexadecimal. Those are the different types of codes you would use in those situations. Another thing that is very useful, in regards to strings anyway, is we're going to be able to change the case of the different letters quite easily. So let's say we go echo string to uppercase. So if we want the whole entire thing to be uppercase, just str to upper. And then we would type in random string, which is the string we have here. If we wanted every character to be converted into lowercase, string to, and then change upper to lower. And if we want all of the first letters to show up in uppercase, we would type in UC first, uppercase first. And there you can see they did exactly what you thought they did. You could also come in here and convert strings to arrays, or convert arrays back into strings. So let's say that I want to take my string I have here and convert it into an array. Well, you just type in explode and think of an array exploding and all the pieces falling into boxes. What you're going to do is type in here what is going to divide these strings, and it's going to be a space because random string has a space inside of there. And then you're going to type in here the string that you want to explode. And let's say you wanted to also define a maximum number of pieces that go into an array. You could type a 2 inside of there in that situation, or you could leave it off altogether. And then let's say you wanted to convert the array back into a string. you just go string to array is equal to, and you would type in implode. And again, you have to define what is going to separate all of the different parts that are in the array, and then you're going to pass inside of it array for string. And in that situation, you don't have pieces, and make sure you spell implode right. If you wanted to just find part of a string, let's just go part of string, you would use substring like that, and we can come in here and let's just type in random string. You could use variables, and then let's say we wanted to go from the 0 index and get a maximum of 6 characters. Print that out on the screen for us, and you can see it started at the 0 index and got the first 6 characters and printed those out on the screen. You could also compare strings. So let's say I have man and give it a string of man, and then I have man hole like this, like a manhole cover, and man hole. And I could do something like echo string compare. So these are really easy to remember after you use them a little bit because the names are very logical. We can compare the different strings here, see what it comes back with. It comes back with -4. Now what this does is if these two strings are identical, what it's going to do is return a 0. If it returns a positive number, which here it did not, it returned a -4, that means that string 1 or man is greater than string 2. It's just alphabetical order. And if it returns a negative, that means that string 1 is less than string 2. And then you could also come in here and go string case compare if you want to completely ignore the case of the letters. A couple other ones we can use here for little string functions is string. So let's say we go echo and the string. What this is going to do is return every character after the string that we are going to be looking for. So in this situation, $, and let's type in random string that we had before. It's going to return everything in the string after it locates the word string inside of it, or the string inside of it. The string, see, that's the string of random string. So it found string, and it's going to print out everything that follows thereafter. And you could, of course, come in here and put an I inside of there, and it is going to be case insensitive again. Another thing we could do is, let's say we wanted to get the location of a match. You would just type in string position in this situation and execute, and it's going to come back with 7, which if you count over, it is string. The S starts as the 7th character inside of this string we have right there. And then we could also come in here and replace strings. So let's say we go new string is equal to string underscore replace, and let's say we want to replace string with the word stuff in the string called random string. And we could go echo, and now it says random stuff instead of random string. And I guess that basically brings me to the final thing I'm going to cover, which are functions. If you want to create a function which is going to allow you to reuse your code over and over again, you would just type in function, and then you could do something like add numbers, which is going to be the numbers or the name of the function, and then the different attributes that you're going to allow to be sent into this function to be executed. And you're going to have your curly brackets again, and then you could have a return statement which is going to return numbers after. You can put any code inside of here, but let's just say that we want to come in here and add these two numbers together and then return them to whoever calls for this function to execute. And then to call this function, we could just go echo and do something like 3 plus 4 is equal to, and then a period, and add numbers. 3, 4, and that's going to pass it in there, and it's going to echo all of that information out on the screen, and there you can see 3 plus 4 is equal to 7. So there you go, guys. That is a rundown of pretty much everything about PHP except for regular expressions and object-oriented programming. If you guys want me to cover those, just leave a question or comment down below. Otherwise, till next time.